Thank you so much, guys, for turning to this brand new video. I'm gonna talk about Press Secretary of Trump, Caroline Levitt. She just came and said something about President Trump and Hitler. She was not knowing his vice president JD Vance said it first. It's really very strange situation. I'm gonna share this clip with you. First of all, take a look at this important clip. I request you to watch the video till the end. Here we go.
Caroline Levitt resurfaced after announcing her maternity leave because it was just really important to show up and to say, we're going to go after podcast hosts after the attempted shooting, or the shooting, which didn't kill anybody, fortunately, on Saturday in Washington, D.C. Caroline Levitt reappears and goes, I was on maternity leave for like a day, but this is just too important. I had to be here to attack free speech, to go after the podcast hosts, to humiliate myself. Here she is explaining it. Take a listen.
As I told many of you on Friday afternoon, I thought that would be my last time taking your questions until after my maternity leave. But given the attempted assassination of the president and, quote, top Trump administration officials, as the depraved shooter noted in his manifesto at the White House Correspondents Association dinner on Saturday evening, I felt it was prudent to be here today to answer your questions.
We really needed her to be here. Yeah.
Inform the
Why Trump administration is using that sad incident against Democrats and against free speech? Can you tell me, like, why they're using that as a weapon?
people about how the administration is responding to yet another attempt on President Trump's life.
I am really glad and reassured by Caroline's presence. I was worried when the shooting happened. I was saying to myself, wait a second, Caroline Levitt is on maternity leave. We might not get clear information, honest information, accurate information unless she comes back. And so she did. And one of the first things she says is she mentions podcasts. Folks, they are going to come for the podcasts. They are going to come for independent media. It is abundantly clear.
Well, I think you heard it directly from the president on Saturday night, Aisha, that in his words, we need to recommit ourselves as a country to toning down the rhetoric and to unifying around what makes our country great. That's true of everyone who works in this White House, but as I said, it's also true of everyone who has a voice and a platform across this country, whether you're on television, a podcast host, people listen.
A podcast host?
And when you have mentally disturbed individuals across the country who are listening to this crazed rhetoric about the president day after day after day, it inspires them to do
It's
crazy.
a free speech. Everybody can talk about president, and they are turning a free speech, a criticism for president into a threat or something like that. That's insane.
things. And unfortunately, it's not just the media, it is the entire Democrat Party has made
I told you already, they are going to attack Democratic Party. I don't know why they hate so much. Even President Trump, he always used to criticize Democrats, and now Press Secretary of Trump, she is doing the same, what President Trump does.
pitch to voters across the country that Donald Trump poses an existential threat to democracy, that he is a fascist, and that they compare him to Hitler. I mean,
there you go. What she is talking about, of course, is J.D. Vance comparing Trump to Hitler, right? Oh, no, that's not what she means. That doesn't count. That one's not relevant.
I can't believe Vice President J.D. Vance said this for President Trump. I'm literally shocked after hearing this. I was not aware of this statement of J.D. Vance, but now I can literally, I'm still shocked.
They're making it very clear. They want to silence speech. I don't know of any administration that disrespected the First Amendment and the premise of free speech, one of the important pillars on which this country was built, as much as this administration disrespects the First Amendment. And they are making it abundantly clear. In the last 24 hours, we've seen Melania Trump demand that Jimmy Kimmel be fired for jokes. We've seen Donald Trump demand that Jimmy Kimmel be fired for jokes. And we have seen Caroline Levitt say it is time for the podcast hosts and others to be really careful about what they are saying. And what they want us to interpret and to assimilate and to allow to affect our behavior is that criticism of Trump's policies is not going to be seen favorably. It's not going to be seen as protected speech. If you, like Jamie Raskin pointed out on CNN, as we looked at yesterday, say that you believe the president is bad for the United States, you're inciting violence now. What a pathetic, special snowflake perspective on speech. The people who say just about all speech should be legal are now saying, well, if it's a podcast host speaking bad about the president, then at least there should be firings. There should be firings right away. First, really quick, I want to tell you about one of our sponsors. Many of us have running lists of the nonfiction books we want to read. It makes so much. In 15 minutes, science, business, and to buy it and read the entire thing. You can try Blinkist totally free for a week. Here is Caroline Levitt continuing into this comparing Trump to Hitler thing. I believe I have this cued correctly.
First, I want to discuss USA is known for free speech. It's a democracy. In democracy, everybody has right to say, to criticize. Remember the word criticism. Everybody is criticizing President Trump nowadays, and they are calling it a violence. They are comparing criticism and violence. They're combining them, and that's not fair, you know. Everybody has right to criticize administration, you know, sitting government. So that's okay. That's totally fine. But now they are saying it's time for the forecasters to look after what they are saying. That's insane.
To pick up roughly from where we left off.
This political violence stems from a systemic demonization of him and his supporters by commentators, yes, by elected members of the Democrat Party, and even some in the media. This hateful and constant and violent rhetoric directed at President Trump day after day after day for 11 years has helped legitimize this violence and bring us to this dark moment. Those who constantly falsely label and slander the president as a fascist, as a threat to democracy, and compare him to Hitler to score political points are fueling this kind of violence. The left-wing cult of hatred against the president and all of those who support him and work for him has gotten multiple people hurt and killed, and it almost did so again this weekend.
You know, I would be able to take this far more seriously if I didn't have that little bug in my brain, a brain worm, you might call it, like RFK, that reminds me that J.D. Vance said Trump could be America's Hitler. So it's tough to take that seriously.
When did he said that? Is there any video or audio that he said this about President Trump? David Pacman should play that. I want to listen. I can't believe he really said that about President Trump.
Caroline Levitt says it because I do remember that. I do remember that Donald Trump has blamed Mexican immigrants and Muslims and minorities for poisoning the blood of America. And I remember that Donald Trump has referred to the media as the enemy of the people. It's hard to get that out of my head. I admit it. That's true. Finally, Caroline Levitt praising Donald Trump as only she can do, and as only she is still willing to do at this point, stage of the game, almost halfway through 2026, that thank goodness for Trump's calm in the face of chaos. Were it not for that, it could have been really different.
It was. As you know, I was seated next to President Trump and the First Lady when the shots were fired before Secret Service swiftly moved us to safety backstage. The president's calm in the face of chaos, while yet another individual was trying to take his life, was really remarkable to witness, and it's something I will never forget. President Trump is fearless because he loves this country, and he is willing to put his own life on the line to deliver on the promises that he made to the American public who elected him here into the highest office in the land. And while we are blessed to have a fearless president, we should
truly blessed,
not
deeply
live in a country where such constant fear of political violence permeates our society every single day.
Well, guys, did you hear what Press Secretary Trump just said? Now they have started calling a criticism into a violence. So everybody's violent then. Every Democratic Party member and the top officials and everyone, they are blaming everyone. And it's not a violence. America is known for the free speech. And now I think they are not going to allow free speech. What is your stance? What do you want to say? I'm a student of US politics and you're the teacher. Can you tell me, like, um, did you face any type of difficulty in Biden era about free speech? I remember that time Republican used to mock Biden. They used to call him Sleepy Joe and everything. But now they are saying they're spreading the violence against president. So that's not acceptable in a democratic country. So that's why everybody is criticizing President Trump nowadays. And what do you want to say? What's your opinion? Please let me know in the comment section, guys. I really want to know about your opinion. I really gain a lot of knowledge from your comments. If you just came new to my channel, please consider subscribing if you're new to this channel. When you click on the subscribe button, it means a lot to me. I'll bring more important videos for you. Till then, please take care of yourself. Please take care of your health as well. It's really very important. It's important more than everything right now.